What's going on, YouTube and Y'all Squad? This is your boy Yakutees. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we pick up where we left off, and we have Sheree sharing the text message that she got from Anthony, sent it to Drew, and it read, Dennis and Drew, baby daddy. And then it was another text right up under it saying, husband, I got more scope. I guess he meant scoop on him. And then Sheree says, he told him that, Ralph was gay. And Sonya says, to Drew, it appears your anger is misplaced and Anthony is being messy. Drew somewhat owns it. Drew apologized if Sheree felt she misstepped and how she brought the info. Sheree asked, what about the finger in the face? She somewhat apologized for the finger in the face. Sheree tells Candy she's disappointed that as a friend she didn't come to her. Now Candy apologizes, but my whole thing is, and I think I said this in the last review, like I don't see how you could be mad and see Candy is better than me, which I'm pretty sure Candy doesn't want to mention Grandmaster Zodiac. But I would have been like, so when she said that, I had my face in her place and all this other stuff. You ain't bring none of that back to me. So you were not being a friend to me in this particular instance. You pick and chose which bones you were going to carry. But you expect me to sit. See, I would have aired Sheree all the way out. But again, Candy is a better person than me. So Kenya's phone goes off. It was a text message. She walks away. Marlo accompanies her. Apparently, Mark is upset because now he has Brooklyn. She made it so that he could have her. And apparently now he has to work, so he expects Kenya to just drop everything and to come pick up their daughter. And Kenya feels, Candy feels that, okay, you should just pull back. Rather than, making all these accommodations for him and you coming all the way to New York and you bringing the baby to him, if he wants the relationship, let him fight for it. And I can see that. Now, I I felt if Kenya would have said something different, I would have been all the way on board with it. But she doesn't feel she should. Says that fathers instill self-esteem in their daughters. So do mothers. So do mothers. Like, I mean, I appreciate her giving him a little bit, but don't give him too much. And she wants him to spend time with his daughter, which is fine. And he needs to put forth that effort. Now, what I will say is I do appreciate the fact that Kenya is like, because what Kenya is doing, I appreciate is you do have some women, not all women, where they make it hard for the father to see his or her child. Why did I say his or her child? His child. I don't know where my mind is right now. My bad. But makes it hard for him to see his child. And Kenya is not doing that. And I think part of it is, I guess she wants Brooklyn to be able to see it for herself. And then it's also being documented on camera. So if there's ever any resentment, it's I did everything that I could. I just don't feel that Kenya should be going above and beyond the call of duty. Like, if he wants, relationship with his daughter, he should be fighting for it. But whatever. They talk about Tyrone. I'm going to say this. I ain't talking about Tyrone. And it's because so much played out on social media that I don't care. So forgive me. If not, oh well. Marlo tells Candy that the sex stuff is too much. Okay, cool, whatever. It's the next day. Candy meets with the team for her play. The play is bringing in people from, Atlanta and Texas. And, ticket sales are up, which is great because, again, this is Broadway. It's in New York. So the fact that you have people from Texas and Atlanta coming to New York to see it is bringing people back to New York and breathing life back into the Broadway scene. So kudos to Candy. We shouldn't be here too long, y'all. Hopefully not. So we get Sonya and Kenya. They talk about Mark. And then, Drew and Ralph come up. And Kenya felt, she was being a little bit harsh when it came to Ralph. Sonya shares, what she has issues with Drew, like one is, keeping this messy assistant when you see that, and it even before what happened between her and Sheree, when you have this assistant telling you, I previously worked with this person and this person wasn't paying me, if they are willing to do that, if they're willing to share what happened with a previous employer, what will happen if you terminate this person? And they start sitting here telling your business and whatnot, even though yes, it's his business. If he did or didn't get paid, don't know if that's true or whatever. But again, we heard stories. So the fact that you worked with her, if you didn't get paid, I don't feel sorry for you. But I do understand, like, you're keeping this person around, so like that's not a good look, and that's not a good judge to your character. And then also the whole drop it with Drew thing, and she was like, I just can't explain it. Here's the thing: you can still be friends with somebody, and if they ask you about, well, you gonna have to ask her. I don't know how to explain it to you. That's her business, not mine. And you can sit here and somewhat compart compartmentalize things. I swear, I'm tired, y'all. I've been up super early today. I'm sorry, but you can sit here and be friends with somebody, and just be able to section off. Okay, this how I'm gonna deal with you. This, that, and the third. You feel me? So now they have lunch. Marlo says, she used to have relations with Jazzy Faye. So then they asked who was the biggest celeb that you've been with. Candy said Gerald Levert. Drew said LeBron James. Marlo said Gene Simmons, and all of them look like, who is Gene Simmons? I'm like, y'all so damn uncultured. And then Kenya says Prince. And let Drew tell it, well, Kenya is full of lies. And I'm looking at you like, and so is your marriage. But that ain't none of my business. So the play happens. Everybody enjoyed the play. We get Marlo, Kenya, and Drew. They talk about the etiquette for a woman dating because Marlo was drinking and then she belched pretty much, and they pretty much let her know that was unladylike. You're not supposed to go to the bathroom in front of a man. This, that, and third. They talk about that. So then Drop It with Drew talk comes up, but then they try to look for the website. I think they found it, tried to sign up. It was an error page. So then the remaining people join. Kenya apologizes to Ralph for projecting. I told y'all I felt like that is what she was doing. So I can appreciate Kenya for being self-aware and being able to analyze herself in that, well, not necessarily in that moment, but after the moment realize like, okay, yeah, I was doing a tad bit too much. Sonya and brings up her issues with Drew since Kenya kind of opened the door, and she does this in front of the group. She feels, like Drew has been wanting her to speak up in certain situations, which I'm like, okay, but she never really dove deep into that. And Sonya says, she met her first. Now we do know with these reality TV shows that nobody really knows a new person, where it's just like two people are put together and it's just like, hey, you're bringing this person onto the show. So when she said she met her first, in this instance, she did. And she feels conflicted on how she is showing up as a friend. And she said, if it's BS, I can't rock with you. I.e., she said, you putting your hand in Sheree's face. And Drew was like, okay, well, we kind of made it past that. And Drew whole thing is just like, that it's a valid point, but there were many different opportunities you had to talk to me, and you didn't talk to me, and now you wait until now to do it. And then you have Sonya saying that, okay, well, she has a whole entourage, and I guess it was that same day, earlier that day, and she was getting her makeup touched by her makeup artist, but that wasn't the right time, and it's difficult to have it. But the conversation could have been had many different times before, especially off camera. And again, we all know they somewhat produce themselves. So if you wanted to have a sit down with her, you could have made that happen. So having it in front of a group, it does make me look at Sonya just a little bit sideways. You feel me? Like, especially knowing there were opportunities for you to discuss it, but all of the girls feel just like Sonya should have wrote all this down, memorized it, and then said it, because there were parts that just weren't making sense. Let me see. I said that. And then Marlo brings up not being able to sign up for the workout and all this other stuff. And then, they're trying to get Drew to, like, explain things. And Drew explains Drop It with Drew, and not really. And then they even question her, like, okay, what was the reasons for the lipo? So you have Drop It with Drew, but you had the lipo. And then she goes down this rabbit hole of explaining that. And pretty much that's why I'm in this episode, because Sheree tried to meet with Tyrone. Tyrone stood her up, and from what I remember from the blogs, is that him trying to film with her and all this other stuff was going to jeopardize his freedom, and he would have ended up back in jail messing around with Sheree. and I believe he sent them a cease and desist. So yeah, that's it. So that's all that I have. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I got one more review for y'all that is basketball wise. And again, don't forget to catch us on the Whether You Like It or Not panel. We will be in Sakina's house. We'll be at her house, but live in your living room. All right, peace.